Crow's Nest, an abandoned airstrip, home to 408 Squadron for a 6-month posting. The Kosovo Rotary Wing Aviation Unit raced into Kosovo on the heels of the departing Serb Army. 22 pilots, 162 support personnel, and 8 Griffin CH-146 helicopters. Establishing an operational base in this shattered nation was no easy task. Captain Dennis Haley.
They start from scratch, and boy, there's not much in the way of amenities, but slowly after time, things start building up. Setting your tent up in a hayfield. Rank held no privilege. It was, as I said, everybody pitched in, got the job done. There weren't, I wouldn't say there was anybody sitting around watching others.
The amount of work required to keep these helicopters in the air is just incredible. There's a lot of people here doing a lot of hard work just to keep the 8 helicopters under and all of our pilots flying.
You can pick one person out of the bunch, and if they weren't here to do their job, then there would have been some facet of this camp that would have been incomplete.
The men and women manning the Crow's Nest will put in 7-day weeks for their entire 6-month posting, and they are confined to camp. There is no security outside its boundaries.
Then we're back canning with the mass grave, RRB, the ammo dump, the monument, and back. Alrighty.
2 pilots man the Griffins on every sortie out of the Crow's Nest. In the case of Sean Cameron and Dennis Haley, both are qualified aircraft commanders.
We came over to Kosovo with the aviation unit here, sitting heavier with aircraft commanders than we had co-pilots. And what this does for us is it gives us greater flexibility in the cockpit.
Also aboard the aircraft, a flight engineer. In peacetime, flight engineers are responsible for prepping and maintaining the aircraft. In Kosovo, engineers like Corporal Dave Murphy are essential to the safety of the Griffin and its crew.
One of my jobs that I do inside the aircraft when we're on the mission is on the eyes, external eyes of the flying pilot. Basically any in-ground maneuvers or low flight regime maneuvers. I'm there to ensure that the aircraft doesn't contact with any outside objects, or just to let the pilot know that there are objects in the vicinity. Basically his extra set eyes.
If you look now to your right, Dennis, you see there's a stone right there, and then the sandbag's off to the right of that. I got the sandbag. It's like a T. Okay, got it. Display your 180.
You fly over a village, or you go into a landing zone, and it's real. It's not a nice prepared surface, or it's not a confined area that you've done 100 times or 200 times. You know, everything's brand new, and that's what makes it exciting. That's what makes it different, far different from home.
On special tasking, the Griffins also carry a mission specialist, an infantryman like Sergeant Rob Wheatley, with his knowledge of the ways of armies.
We've come along on this mission here to add our reconnaissance capability and knowledge and experience in the field and understanding of ground tactics to allow the helicopter crew to function more effectively with the ground units they're going to be working with. In the infantry, we deal a lot with AFV recognition, which is armored fighting vehicles, so that when we see a vehicle, we know if it's friend or foe immediately.
That looks like BTR-80 there. That might be the Russians, actually.
Approximately 37 vehicles, and they're on the move.
Freedom 5, just west of Kosovo Polje this time. We're inbound your location, ETA 5 minutes.
As far as this morning, we're heading over to the swimming pool to pick up the Kosovo Cavalry Regiment. They were doing some weapons cleanup. Know what the guy said? Yeah. They want to check out a couple of the sites. Give them a good wake up this morning. Let them know that the Brits are there to do their business.
Kosovo has been divided into sectors, and 408's helicopters work in the British-controlled sector, but there are constant changes in the nature of their missions.
Initially, when we started working in theater, we were asked to do a lot of presence patrols, taking a look at the KLA installations. We'd fly overhead with the Griffin, make some noise, and let them know that we were in town.
Okay, they got perimeter security there as well.
You want to see if you can find the gypsies?
Ensuring the safe movement of refugees has proved a difficult task. Kosovar Albanians, Serbs, Gypsies, no one is safe in this hotbed of hatred.
It's gypsies from all the local area. We're trying to put them all into one place to keep them out of the way because the Serbs and Albanians keep attacking them.
Is there anything else you'd like us to do near this camp other than just a bit of presence?
No, my only tasking is to provide presence from the last camp to this camp.
Okay.
600 meters. Large wires, you'll see a diagonal trench. There's a bunch of small graves. There's about 30 holes, but they said there was about 50 bodies because a lot of the holes had a woman and a child in each.
Wherever they fly, the helicopter crews are on the lookout for mass graves, a sign of brutal ethnic cleansing. When one is spotted, word is passed to the UN's War Crimes Tribunal, so it can mount an on-the-ground investigation.
You start to see the mass graves, realize the extent of damage that they had done to villages, and we also found a lot of the Serb equipment that was damaged and abandoned. All that was part of our mandate to identify that and pass it up to higher level, especially the mass graves.
Here we'll do a low approach.
When the Griffins enter the airspace over Pristina, there are new dangers. Antennas sprout from the tops of buildings. Regulations require automatic defensive flares to be switched off over populated areas.
Flying Overwatch over Pristina, it started out as operating in a low-level environment over the city, supporting the units on the ground. And that's slowly evolved into a little bit of a different mission. We've slid things up now. We operate at 500 feet over the city. We do tactical resupply to one of the buildings downtown, which is quite interesting.
Think about the area. 60% lots of car. 200 feet the area, 10 feet above the area.
It takes great ingenuity in the cockpit as well. We have, I guess, the freedom to be creative, and as long as we're not exceeding the limits of the helicopter first and foremost, it's kind of neat to find out how you're going to find the best winds and which departure route is going to give you the best option. And there's hundreds of factors that we consider, and that's what makes it interesting every day.
Marking on over to the left here.
Getting in and out of improbable landing zones tests pilots and helicopters to the limit.
It's not like your typical field in Edmonton where you can take off in your normal profile. You have to lift up till you're clear of all the buildings before you can rotate and gain some forward airspeed, so it makes it challenging and interesting at best. The operational tempo that we've been maintaining since we got here is just incredible. Guys are flying more than they've ever flown in their entire careers here, and they're flying ranges of missions and different scopes of activity than they've ever imagined they would be doing.
Stretching piloting skills and finally putting into use long years of training is scant compensation for a 6-month absence from family and friends. Sean Cameron and wife Tracy in particular have cause to regret the timing of this posting.
That's the most difficult part of it all. Getting on the bus and saying goodbye to her when she's 7 months pregnant with our first child, it's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life.
The pilots of 408 Squadron have a lot to live up to.